Okay, welcome to another pro player point of view. This is the series where we're watching top players in Age of Mythology Retold from their perspective and seeing how they're playing the matchups. So right now we have Kimo playing as Set, and he is playing against Kavoth, the Aranos player. So he's already dropped his vision really early. We are on the map Giza, so this is the one with the pyramids chilling wherever they are. And it looks like he's gone straight for the aggressive hunt. So rather than going for some of the passive hunt that you would bring back to your base, he's going for a rhino. Maybe he wants it for the early scouting and then come back and eat it, or for the early scouting and then a bit on the aggression. So what he's going for here is he's built a granary over by the hippos rather than bringing them back to the town centre, which is interesting. Dropped a very early monument to the villagers, and then this labourer will probably jump in the town centre and go over here to the mining camp. So the reason that he does this is he wants 120 wood to then get pickaxe. So one great thing about Egyptians is they start with 100 wood, and you don't need wood for anything during the archaic age. So what you can do is just spend that on pickaxe, which will get 10% extra gathered speed and extra gather or extra holding of gold for your villagers. So he just needs to whack that one there. It's something that I often forget to do after I've even got the wood, but he'll be getting that nice and soon. And it looks like he's just going to be searching around for more aggressive hunt. Unfortunately, he has forgotten that pickaxe there. So Kimo is playing Set. Now, Set has had some buffs to Slingers recently. So Slingers now, if he goes through Patar and Sekhmet, he can get electron bullets, which now have an upgrade where they get divine damage. The pickaxe comes in here. And if he goes up through Sekhmet for Slingers of the Sun, then that also gives him bonus damage versus infantry, which would be good against Kavoth's Mamillo if he chooses to go for it. Now, from the Aranos point of view, what is he going to do against Kimo? He could go for full Mamillo, but then what the Set player can do is just counter that with Axeman. So what we might see from him is the double counter barracks play, where you go for some Terma, maybe all Terma or maybe a mixture of Terma and Mamillo. Probably doesn't want to go for Catapultes because they're not going to counter anything that Set will do in the classical age if he chooses to go for a classical fight. So what Set can do is probably go for a full classical fight, or maybe go for a second town center onto a classical fight. But this map being Giza, it doesn't look like there's much on these town centers. This one's got one rhino on it. This one obviously had a rhino on it that's been pinched. And they don't really secure any gold mines. Unfortunately, he hasn't scouted this side, but he's just about to see if there's anything else around. I assume this is his second town center, though, but it could be his opponent. So maybe there's a second town center here with everything on it. What he also can do is if there's an aggressive town center that's really good, you can just go through Batar, shifting sands all your villagers to it, and then just take that for free. And then the enemy player can't really stop it. Even if they're up early with a Carnivora and a couple of units with the Pharaoh and a priest over there, be absolutely fine. But maybe there'll be a town center around here. But with the 10 villagers on gold, he is most likely looking for a town center. Egyptian town centers now cost 550 gold, and he will absolutely be there by the time he advances. Relic over here, Dwarven Calipers, cheapest siege weapons, which is useful later. Not a bad relic there. Girdle of Apollo, so ranged soldiers have more hit points. I'm assuming that counts for slingers. They must be ranged soldiers, so that's pretty good. Increases the attack of ranged soldiers. So 2 ranged soldier relics. So if you grab both of those, they are pretty damn good. More damage, more health. So yes, there is a town center here. It's probably going to be the same with one rhino on it. Maybe this one is slightly better because he could get this gold mine here, but he would have to shifting sands over here because it's quite a long walk. So he's gone for the safer one onto the rhino here as well. A nice 500 food. So what he could do from this is go straight up to heroic and just basically min defend, or he can go full in on the classical barracks units, which is something that Set does like to do because he gets that nice bonus of extra speed on his barracks units. And if you put them next to a monument, then they train even faster. So you can really spam out those units. Caladria coming off to see if he's getting a second town center, and he is. And he hasn't really scouted what his opponent's doing. So whether he thinks he's getting a second town center or getting some units out, he doesn't really know yet. This is something that Set can definitely go and do, can go and see, but then if you were to lose those Set animals, then that's potential food for your opponent. But obviously it is nice to see. But when you go through the Wadget God, then it's a very bad scout, whereas if you went through Anubis, the Anubites are much better scouts because they can use their jump ability to get away. So he's getting some wood here. So that's pretty interesting, whether he's going to go for barracks units, which he absolutely is. So that means that he does want to get the slingers, which will be good against enemy termers, and not bad against anything else that the Uranos player wants to bring. Whether he's just going to go pure slingers or probably not. Probably something like Slinger Axeman would probably be a good combo, or just Slinger Spearman, because Spearmen are pretty fast and they're good raiders as well. So it looks like he's getting Hand Axe too, and obviously he has Pickaxe already and Husbandry, which helps with the chicken gather rate over here. So it basically makes it like hunting, but it doesn't help with the berries. Bit of a random thing there, but it helps with the chickens, not with the berries. But it doesn't look like there's many herdables on this map, or if any. Unless they moved over here. They moved over here, but there still isn't many, only 3. But it looks like we've got a decent amount of zebras over here, and this is something that is unique to Set. He can just sit underneath his town center and basically bring all the hunt to him, which is definitely what he likes. Trying to get an obelisk up, which I absolutely love. I love when Ra and Set players use obelisks, but unfortunately does get caught there, because the obelisks for Ra and Set take a long time to build up, and if you get caught, it's a bit of a shame. Whereas Isis can just spam those up, and that's what I like to do. But it does look like he's going for Spearman Slinger. So Spearman Slinger is a good choice, as we said, because the Slingers have the really nice upgrade that he's already got, which gives them one divine damage, and then Spearmen are just versatile, all-round units, pretty fast. They're not the strongest. They definitely don't beat a Mamillo because they have less HP and less attack, but the same amount of armor, and they are faster, if I believe, but maybe not after you get the 10% upgrade from Uranos. So unfortunately, I did use this Alt-T to swap Set to the right-hand side, because he is on the right, but it's still showing it's red. So unfortunately, that just seems like a little bug with the spectator. But I am listening to, to some of the comments, and that was a really useful one to swap this over so we can see exactly what the situation is here. What other things we're getting? Leather frame shield and Shadoof. Basically, all of the Patar upgrades, his unique upgrades, are all coming in, which is really nice to see. He's become a really strong god now that you can get the extra divine damage on your slingers. Because they attack so fast, 1 divine damage is just so good. It makes them even not bad against myth units. They just used to be really good against archers, and they're not against anything else. But we've got medium slingers and medium spearmen. So this is the chance that Kimo has seen to just go. And he's going to take down the sky passage nicely. And then he's probably going to go around and search for other sky passages. This is the thing which makes Uranos really annoying, is he can have this. He probably has one over here on another hunt spot, or over here, wherever the extra hunt is. And he'll just jump to that one. Or maybe he had one sat in the main base. And that's just something that Uranos does, and Uranos is very, very strong. But Kimo, is he still getting units out? He is still going units. He was just going mass units. He isn't spamming them too hard. He is looking to get to the heroic age. We can see he's got 600 food in the bank, 300 gold. So he's really close to that heroic age, and I assume has an armory. Yep. So he will be kind of just searching for something, and then maybe going to the heroic age as well. So it looks like he's also getting all his farming upgrades. So his food is probably going to be dwindling soon, which is a nice time to click up, because when you farm in the classical age, it's just quite slow. Now he's seen that his opponent's gone up through Hyperion. Hyperion has Chaos. Chaos is scary for counter units. If you have slingers attacking slingers, it's not a nice time to be a slinger, because they'll do so much damage against each other. The spearmen will just kind of stalemate, because they don't have much attack and much this, but you know, much attack and much armor, but the slingers will wail on each other, the same as the heroes to the Wadget. So this is maybe why he's gone for a bit of a split up here, just so he doesn't get completely ruined by by that. So he wants to split his units up so they're not going to all attack each other. There's so many manners here. But nice little raid. No units from the Uranus player to be seen. And just a nice couple of villager kills, run away. So that counts for 4 villagers worth of any other civ. Because Uranus or Atlanteans villagers are worth 2 of a normal one. And just a cheeky couple of mana kills. So he's obviously noticed here that Uranus doesn't seem to have many units out. So he's just going to be getting lots of map pressure, or maybe his units are here. Unfortunately, leaves some guys here. Shifting Sands back to capitalize on this army being out position. Snipes one. If he can get the Satyr, that's absolutely huge. Satyrs are so strong. Nice split of his army here too, just to make sure he doesn't get hit by the Hyperion. Does have a lot of minions here. Hopefully he can surround this. It'll be a really, really nice play. It was a really nice defense anyway. Something so good about Shifting Sand is if you are out of position, you can just use that to bring yourself back. If you get a few monuments up too, you can absolutely use that basically on cooldown, because it only costs 50 to reuse, then plus 10 each time. And with a load of fast units, you can get around really, really quickly. It's actually trying to cut these off, but the Mamilo of Uranus pretty fast with the Empyrean speed. So they do have 5 speed, and the Spearmen are still faster with 5.3 force set. Migdal Stronghold up, so nicely defended for that gold mine. He also has a gold mine here, probably going to look to get another Migdal Stronghold to defend that, but most likely just going to carry on with the classical army. Now, Nebti, what is that upgrade? Is that a different one? I think Nebti is the one that gives more damage against myth units. They've changed all the names since Legacy. So yes, that is the one that gives you more damage for priests and pharaohs against enemy units. Now, what I thought he would get is the upgrade. It's the one that I'm hovering here, and I can't remember what it's actually called. But you get 5 gold back whenever you lose one of your army. So if you go full classical units, which are relatively cheap if you compare them to Migdal units, and then when you lose them, you get 5 gold back. I'm going to see if it's in the temple, whether I can see it here. Funeral rites. So that is funeral rites. That is the one that used to do that. So yeah, you get 5 gold back from any soldier death. So these guys are pretty cheap, so it's actually a really nice upgrade to get quite early. But he only had 1 monument for most of this game, and only a 2nd monument now. So maybe there's better things to use your favor on. Seems to have a lot of food in the bank. He could potentially sell that and go mythic. Don't know what the sell rates are. I mean, they're okay, but maybe just going to get there the old-fashioned way. He's got 28 on gold. Probably won't take that long. And then he can go through Horus and get some really good upgrades for his barracks units. It wouldn't be a bad idea to go in to get some Axemen. Unfortunately, gets hit with the absolutely overpowered Chaos. And then Shockwave, the brutal Uranus combo that is just absolutely busted. But if he can just run away, get underneath the Migdal Stronghold, heavy Mamilo comes in for Gavoth, but really needs to start getting some Axemen out, which he absolutely is. Medium Axemen coming in soon. Slingers, Chariots, all good. But there is a Migdal Stronghold here. Migdal does a decent amount of damage, 8.8 times 3, so 26 damage per second. So not something you really want to come and attack. But getting a lot of Axemen, because he is basically just going pure infantry. So why not? There were some heroes being made there too. But well stabilized. That was the aggression from Uranus kind of dealt with the Chaos and the Shockwave. You're going to expect that the Chaos and the Shockwave should be coming soon. It might be worth just sending maybe a random chariot to look for some oracles that like to chill on the sides of the map. I wouldn't mind that play. Got some pharaohs, priests out to deal with the Carnivora that was inevitably coming. But the problem is these Mamilo just absolutely shred with this poison damage, and just basically lost all his front line there. But the damage dealers are still around, and underneath the Migdal fire, he's probably going to get quite an even trade for this. because the enemy Aranos player has kind of overstayed his welcome. He was basically winning. He does have some destroyers. That's why he's staying around, because that means he can take down the Migdor stronghold after all the melee units are gone. This is basically a siege unit that has lots of pierce armor, so slingers and chariot archers don't do much, but slingers with divine damage do something. So that's always something to watch out for. Should just be spamming the axeman out now, which he absolutely is. And he goes to Horus. Horus gives you lots of upgrades for your barracks units. So you get an upgrade for your spearmen. You get get 2 upgrades for your spearmen. For some reason I can't click on it, but he is getting one. He's getting greatest of the 50, 30% hit points, and 10% speed for your infantry. And your infantry is so fast anyway. The spearmen with 5.3 go up to like 5.6 or something, if I remember correctly. Looks like there's a town center there, so his town center's been stolen. So he just wants to go over here to make sure that the enemy player is not taking both his town centers, because that'd be pretty brutal to come back from. But Axeman can get the upgrade that he's not getting yet, which gives them bonus damage versus buildings, which makes them just absolutely shred buildings. We really should take this Oracle out. I didn't see it, unfortunately. That's a good reason to attack move, so you can see things like that. This might be a good gold mine for later, that I was hovering with my mouse, but we want to see this fight. Another brutal chaos, but a really nice play with the tornado. Gets everything so low, and these divine damage units should be able to finish them off, but they are getting cut off. Unfortunately, the tornado just not as strong as maybe it used to be, and we can't really see what's happening with the shockwave. Aranos with his favor, he can just use so many god powers. One thing you really need to do is just go around and find those oracles. But so many low HP Mamillo. Does have quite a lot of upgrades for them. How are the upgrades looking for our set player? Oh, he actually has some pretty decent upgrades too. Not bad. Probably didn't need the Pierce upgrades, considering that he's basically going pure infantry. So just Axeman plus the mail upgrades would be absolutely fine. Carnivore right now, not really worth much when you've got when you're in the Mythic Age and your Pharaoh just does an insane amount of damage. 20 damage, and that turns into divine damage when he attacks a myth unit, and then he gets the super bonus against it as well. But just what I said earlier, Migdor stronghold down here. This is the I'm not sure whether this is his town center or not, but this is the one you want because it just defends this gold mine nicely. One good play here would be to get the catapults out, put a little wall here, which is probably what this villager wanted to do, but he just overstepped slightly. Actually, he was getting food here. But a tiny little wall here would just be really good, so then it just deflects some time before something could jump onto this catapult. But it looks like the Aranos player is not actually defending it. Nice. He's now spotted the Oracle, and we just want to snipe that. Get rid of it. Do these guys have the upgrade? They do. Scalloped axe. No, this is the Patar one. He doesn't actually have the next one. Axe of Vengeance coming through, which is bonus damage versus buildings. When he loses HP, you get more damage, but he hardly has any HP, so they die pretty damn fast. But I should probably wait for that before going for this, but it doesn't look like there's that many units around. But this is where Aranos is getting gold from, and one of the only 2 potential spots, or 3 potential spots. There's also one down the bottom. But this shreds the whole of the Aranos army, because he's basically going pure infantry. Apart from there's some archers here. Maybe we get some slingers on the archers to the back. But these guys are just doing so much damage to the infantry. You need to make sure the archers aren't attacking the destroyers, though, because the destroyers will tank for absolute days. I'll make sure the axemen are on that. But while everything's going on, the catapults getting nice damage to the palace, taking the town center, maybe even getting the map pressure to take this town center later. Kavoth is struggling now, and Kimo, who we are watching, is in a really good position now. In the Mythic Age, got all his upgrades for his barracks units and countering the enemy army comp really well. Getting some more slingers out as well to counter the units that are trying to counter his axemen, and that is always what you got to be on top of there. Would be nice to see if he could just get around and barracks up here just to see when he's on this gold mine. But if we look at the gold mines, that's got 1,400 left in it. We didn't see how much this one has, but this one's going to be over soon. But he was tanking this one here. So Hecate's through. It's going to have to worry about Tartarian Gate. Tartarian Gate coming down in the base. It really doesn't have much armor now. even less than it used to, but the Tartarian spawns from it do so much damage. But if he gets a few Axemen down, he should be able to do really well. Don't know why this one's paused. Does it just randomly pause? It just randomly pauses. I don't know why that happens. A Chaos comes down, and archers on archer violence means that they are all going to get taken out. But what Kimo wants to do anyway is run back with his Axemen that do bonus damage to buildings. This has 25% hack armor, which is nothing, so look how fast this goes down. This Tartarian Gate, as broken as Atlantean is with Chaos and with the shockwaves and stuff, Tartarian Gate needs a buff. There's no way that this should go down this quickly, but this was all a distraction so that Aranos could take his town center, but Kimo was just too far ahead, and it was just really well played. The barracks units are key here, and if you can get a decently fast Mythic Age to get the bonus damage for all of these guys, then that is good. I think the only thing which I would have said would probably be something he needs to think about looking against Atlantean players is these oracles. You knew, oh, I thought that would be an oracle. He knew that the enemy Aranos player was using so many god powers, which means he's got a lot of oracles. He did have 5, 1 went down, but I would just be sending a random unit around looking for these. But obviously, it's easier said than done when you're in the fight, in the action. You're not thinking about these things, but really well played by Kimo, and I'll see you in the next one.